I wanted a breath, so we
I hear that. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't continuing to distract you from the game.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But you're right. I think you're 110% right, and it's very sad that there are people in this world that are just that manipulative to the point where they would rather throw someone under the bus that's genuinely being targeted for these kinds of negative things instead of, you know. And it's people are going to do what people are going to do, and you literally all you have to do. All you can do in response to that is just tell the truth, which is what my friend is doing.
Yeah. So, hey guys, welcome to Simply Scary. This is Fatal Frame, and we... What the...
Whoa! Alright.
It's
a very interesting figurine there in the corner.
Oh, that's like armor statue kind of thing. But
that's gonna come alive and try to kill you, isn't it?
No, it's awesome. But we just had a quick little break, and I figured out, you know, I was being dumb, and I kind of had the answers next to me, but I didn't want to use it and stuff like that, and that's fine.
It happens.
Yeah. Well, I also was sitting here talking to Johnny, and that took precedent. Because it's, okay, so there are people who do lots of YouTube stuff and make it look very easy and like, do a bunch of stuff at the same time kind of thing. If you ever seen Jacksepticeye interview with Ronald Reynolds when they were doing the press tour for Deadpool 2, they had Jacksepticeye and Ryan Reynolds doing playing the Deadpool game. And at first, Ryan Reynolds was playing it, and he was actually struggling communicating and playing the game at the same time. And then you had someone like Jacksepticeye do it, and Jacksepticeye's actually already played the game, so he could mindlessly do it,
right?
While talking. And so this is kind of like my Ryan Reynolds play kind of thing. I'm sitting here trying to be informative and trying to be coherent in my conversation skills, but my gaming is going to suffer because of that. And it's kind of like you have to pick your battles kind of thing.
That's valid. Gotta find a nice balance.
Yeah, and sometimes actually it's interesting because Sam generally likes to pick up the slack and the awkward silence parts kind of thing, and just likes to do what Sam does best and turn off his brain and then say stuff. You know?
Hey Sam, insert a pun here.
She said pun.
Okay, that was very punny.
Get the fuck out of here.
There you go.
That's valid. Like, it's been something I've always wanted to do, and so I have an idea of what you're saying. Like, it can be hard, and it depends on the kind of game too. Like, how much brain power is it requiring? How much of you feel me? Like,
so a lot of the games that we've actually generally that we've been trying to go through are games that I have already played and I can do quite easily, kind of thing.
Right.
But because we've already gone through for the past, I've been doing Simply Scary for the last 3 years now, so this is the 4th year of Simply Scary.
Congrats! Yay!
Yeah. So we have actually, oh god, I'm not here yet. Okay. So I've actually gone through all of my horror-based games that I know and love, kind of thing. So now we're jumping into territory that is new for both of us, and so it's a lot. It's interesting now because there's a lot more reactionary from me and Sam than there has been in previous years.
Except for feedback you're getting right now?
Yeah, like...
Interesting.
So, because like I... Oh, God. Am I stuck? No, I'm not stuck. Okay. And it's...
It's a safe thing.
Oh, I don't need to save yet because I haven't actually done anything besides open a fucking room. Excuse my language. Ugh.
For shame.
Yeah, seriously. Conversation. Okay, there we go.
Do the thing.
Yeah, do the thing. Talk about truck. You got the truck while you're 19. Okay, that's cool. You moved here 2 years ago. I know this because me and Johnny, I'm going to be more or less reviewing everything that me and you've talked about in the past while, kind of thing. Johnny did a little stunt modeling kind of thing for a little bit of time in a wedding dress.
So what that was is my photographer friend hit me up, and she was like, "Hey, I have this idea. I see you in the image I have in my head. What do you think of this?" And I was like, "Okay, tell me what you got on your mind." And she said, "Well, I have this idea for a bohemian shoot. These are the places that I have in mind, the makeup I have in mind. This is kind of the vibe I'm going for." And I said, "Okay. Well, while we're doing that, is it cool, since this is a bridal style dress, we incorporate who is my husband, who at the time was my husband, he's now my ex." And she was like, "Oh yeah, I would love to do that," because she is thrilled by wedding, bridal shoots, like that kind of thing. Like, she's one of my favorite people, to be completely frank. So we did a shot of just me at Fort Hunt, and then we did some shots closer to where I'm still currently living with my ex-husband. And I was joking with a friend of mine. I was like, you know, I'm so excited to put these in my portfolio because the story behind these photos are super cool. Because I am going through one of the most traumatizing experiences of my life in these photos, and I can still put on the face and play the role to get these pictures. And those pictures were actually featured in VA Bridal Mag.
Yeah.
Which was a really cool surprise.
Was that feature planned, or was that just a coincidence kind of thing?
It was a coincidence. It was a very cool surprise.
There we go, cutscene. Okay.
And I'd made a post relevant to it as well, because, like, going back into the deeper into spectrum why there's a cutscene, I'm actually pregnant in that photo. You can see how bloated I am in my lower abdomen, and I miscarried shortly after that. So
sorry.
It's a part of life. Like, it's not the first time, and then, you know, it made me more sad that my cousin went through the same thing shortly after I did. And it was just hard. It was hard all around because I felt her pain, and unfortunately it was much, much worse for her, which broke my heart. So I nearly had to fly out to Kansas, which I was willing to do at the drop of a hat to be there for my family because of the bond that I have with them. So I think it was cool. Like, it was, at the time, it was really hard, and looking back on the pain that was happening at the time that's still relevant to now, I still don't regret that. I still don't regret incorporating him into that shoot, because at the end of the day,
that was...
You feel me?
Yeah, like, that was something you guys could have, kind of thing. And at that point, it was supposed to be something pure bliss. It wasn't supposed... It wasn't about... It was that key frame in that part of your life, kind of thing. It wasn't supposed to... It's a reminder of what was there. Okay.
Photos have 1,000 words in them.
Yeah.
You know, so even though there's a lot of pain with it, there's always transition that comes with pain, I feel like.
Yeah.
And so I choose... And I've gotten that question a lot, actually. A lot of really confused people are like, "Oh, well, why is this? Why do these circumstances happen the way they did?" And I try to explain these stuff like that, and that's fine. Like, they don't have to.
Oh, God. Sorry, Ghost.
Oh! And, but ultimately, in the end, it was a cool experience, and, you know, I joked that what brought me to Virginia was marrying the wrong person, but I actually don't regret any of it, because it brought me here and introduced me to really cool people like you and Sam and Lauren and Percy the cat.
We don't have to
I'm
put
not
Sam in
a
that
person.
pile.
I'm not a person, supposedly.
Supposedly.
Yeah,
we have yet to prove that he's a human.
I'm just here on YouTube
Percy, you
videos.
an android?
You know that text to speech? I'm more or less text to Sam.
Text to Sam.
Hey, Alexa. Does the government listen in on my conversations?
Yes.
Damn.
Stealing it right now.
But I think, does that answer your question?
Yo, I had a weird ass thing once. Yo, I went to the government once, and I was like 12, like 13, right? This was right before I started jacking it, right? So like, security guy, right? And I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" He looked
What
like
kind of jacking are we talking about?
You don't want to know.
masturbating.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, he like, I don't know if he was joking or not, but he was like, "You should really cover up." I was like, "Oh, okay." He knew I did something. Like, I can't remember what I said or anything, but I remember I was like, how you were like, "Do you like watch us?" Whatever. He's like, you know, it's like, he didn't say yes, he didn't say no, but I was walking away, he kind of looked at me, he's kind of like, you should cover up when you're doing it. And I'm like, so I'm like a 13th, 7th, 8th grader, just finding myself. I'm like, what? Because, I'm fucking, I went hard, I had like a fucking one computer in a sister's room. They're asleep. I would have to like get your chair.
Okay, Sam, that's enough of the conversation.
I have a question.
Run out.
Back home, we actually had a sex ed class, and the sex ed class was taught by our football coach, our gym teacher.
Fuck my gym coach. I hate him.
Yeah, I feel that. But
no, he was an asshole to me. He fucking told me to run the mile. I couldn't run the mile. I got a fucking Big Mac out of nowhere. I was like, you can do it, now. You fucking Big Mac from my face. Fuck you, asshole.
Fuck you, asshole.
Yeah, I couldn't finish any of those miles. I never finished miles. I always got those. I did not finish one. Yeah, I always got that incomplete.
In summary, he looked and he acted like Adam Sandler. He was a funny guy. He looked like the comedian. Like it was funny. It makes for a good story. But what makes this an even better story was, supposedly, this man claimed and taught in a sex ed class that a man cannot pee while he has a boner.
No, that's not true at all. That's not true.
Is this true?
That's not true at all.
Are we saying like the morning wood kind of situation kind of thing, or are we saying like he was stimulated?
There was no context given.
Yeah, that's the important context is everything, literally.
Literally, the quote I can give you was, men can't ejaculate when they're limp, and they can't pee when they have a boner.
Neither of those statements are true.
So, they're teaching the wrong shit in sex ed class anyway, so, like,
yeah,
what even good is this?
Don't worry,
see, then Sam would have known to cover up, like,
yeah.
This
No, he looked at me straight. Like I can't remember verbatim what I did. Right?
I can't remember verbatim what I did.
We were like at break. Like there was a big thing. We got like.
Where were you at a government center for?
I can't remember. Like it was just like a 7th grade field trip for some reason.
You were fapping in a government.
No. We had like it's like lunchtime, so they had like the government had like the McDonald's and places there, but it was hella expensive, right? Kind of like we went to the museum that everything was super expensive food there, like McDonald's fucking $20 for a nugget or whatever. Kind of that situation there.
So it reminds me of like our 12th grade trip to the government center when we did the tour, like we Mr. Yi or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was like that, but like I went to like a different school in current like in.
But you went to Washington DC thing?
I can't. Like I said, I can't remember. It was when I was in Delaware.
Delaware is depending on where you are in Delaware, that could be like a 3 to 4 hour drive, which is a doable thing for school hours.
I can't remember. So I remember we had like a lunch break. I was hanging out with friends, and we were like, there was very security guys. They're not even security guys, but like you saw they were like, CIA, government people, and we were like, hey,
you mean?
Well, like they're like. Where like they're like they worked for they did the whole they watched us type thing. I don't know.
They watched us.
I don't know actually, but I was just joking like, hey guys, like being a little dumbass, like, hey, you guys actually like hear on what they say, watching us and everything. You're like, you laugh.
Cover yourself, kid.
No, he just laughed at me, joked like, no, I don't do that. And I started walking away, and like the old like TV show or like, the commercial like with the thing was like, hey kid, catch. Thing, but he was kind of like, "Hey, kid, shit," He's like, this like verbatim, like he told me like to a point how I was doing it. And he was like, "Don't do that ever again." I was like, I felt violated. That's how much that he knew. I felt violated. It was weird.
I'm sorry.
It was weird. Why would he watch me?
Pass him the tissues.
Pass him the tissues? Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's your tissues for your issues.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Ideal.
Got some.
I came to research the royal family's secret.
Ooh, what is this?
The flashback.
So epic.
This blinding mask is the key to the door.
Oh, that's excessive.
When they say blinding mask, they actually mean blinding mask.
This door.
Like you put on, there was needles in that thing, so you put it on, you go blind.
Marcus, there's this game that I played on my PlayStation 2 that I can't recall the name of. You are this character, and you are anointed this black thing with talons that like sinks into your chest, and you're like thrown into this like underground dungeon off a cliff, and you're just expected to like go through to survive. Does this ring any bells for you?
That's more of your genre. The PS2 RPG game. It sounds like Monster Quest though, or Monster Hunter.
No, it was really retro, like this kind of retro, but it was an action, like somewhat adventure game. Like there were some puzzles, but I don't know, like some things like that just hold a lot of like nostalgic significance for me, and it bothers me when I don't know what it's called, so that I can't connect with other people on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm on this eternal quest to find the names of these things that.
Oh right, I can mess with. Right, I forgot I can do that.
Oh hey, that's nifty. All right, next question. Oh.
What is 25 times 2 divided by 0 plus 7?
Zero.
Plus 7.
Doesn't matter.
It's
Zero.
still zero.
Divided by
You already fucked
a
up. It's
million.
zero.
Divided by a million.
Recite the numerical value of pi. Go.
Delicious.
You're right.
Alright.
No, that's not a numerical value.
Grape, apple, peach, grape, blood,
Blood. Meat pies.
meat pie, there you go.
Would
Nail
you like
pie,
a pie?
hair pie, dairy
There we
pie,
go.
dairy pie.
It's the West pies, London.
The cow patties, so they call them
West
cow
pies,
poos.
in London.
Cow pies?
Yeah, they
Cow patties.
Yeah, they call
Cow
it
patties.
yeah, whatever they call cow poop.
Cow patties.
Cow patties, yeah.
Cattle patty, yeah.
Mom.
Oh, Mom.
Whoop.
Oh.
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 What happened?
There's some things I just don't have jokes for.
Just hanging around.
You feel me? Like, there's that. I was, like, playing The Evil Within, and we're doing kind of like this, but not recording it amongst friends. We talk like this when we game and hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And in The Evil Within, there's this child that is...
We played the Evil Within.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on the same page
Yeah.
here, and I'm
We know-
just
we
like,
know.
you know, there's just some things I don't have jokes for.
You should play the second one.
Oh, I'm actually not finished with it yet. I'm not halfway through.
We'll get through it, and I'll probably buy it before, because we do Simply Scary from the 15th of September all the way to the end of October. So
Ooh,
we have
Spookalicious.
so we have to constantly be finding new games to play. So
I
yeah,
could indie horror games are totally my niche. Like The Last of Us. Have you played that?
yes,
How would you grade it?
The Last of Us is an indie game? Oh.
I think she's just
It's not
speaking in
indie.
general.
I change subjects.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played
I do
Last
that a
of
lot.
Us.
So how would you grade The Last of Us?
Depending on who's playing it, because we had a really funny scene with my buddy Jack who played it for me. Because I played it already, but I wanted him to play it,
I see.
but it was just—it's a very enjoyable game.
Wait,
9 out of 10. 10
You
you
were
know.
a jerk to him. You were backseat the hell out of him. You know, why was it black?
I did backseat the crap out of him, but it did make him better.
Upgrade.
But see, that's what I appreciate. Like, if you can find people to bounce off with like that, and you just like kind of balance each other out, like that's what it's about. That's what's up.
Yeah, well, so we actually I have another game with him we stopped halfway through just because we didn't realize time frame and all that stuff.
I see.
We played a game called A Way Out, and that's like the co-op prison game.
Oh yes, that's right.
You're always
Was it
good at
good?
that game too.
Yeah, we're like at the 80% top, but we just stopped playing, and then we couldn't play anymore, and so we just ran out of time to play it, and that was the really annoying part.
Oh, I see.
Well,
I can like make a list of indie horror games that I can recommend. I think there's quite a few on Steam that are good.
Well, I want to do. There's this really cool game that you have to have 2 computers for. So if anything, if you look behind you, I'm currently building 2 computers to identify. I'm doing a his and her computer builds
That's
for me and
awesome.
Lauren. So
bomb ass computer.
Yeah, but right now it's just I'm paying for a lot of things for coming up events kind of stuff, so I can't pay for more computer parts.
That's valid.
It's Thanksgiving or things.
Well, Thanksgiving there's no giving, so I can spend money then, but like
I see what you did there.
there's no gift giving on Thanksgiving. So I'll probably spend some money again on Thanksgiving, but currently I'm trying to I spent literally $200 going to Skyline Drive kind of thing, which was super fun.
$200? Damn.
Well, it was $50 for dinner and about $150 for like I upgraded my I put some more okay, honestly, if we just went to Skyline Drive, it just probably would have been dinner and gas money. But I decided to get car parts and stuff.
That's valid. I understand that, Cheryl.
But
it's like expecting someone to financially live off $300 a month.
Yeah, no, I live literally $400 to $500 a month at a time, trying.
But like, at least you've got everything established for you at this point, like, right? You got live.
Yeah. It's so luckily my parents are super nice, and they're like, we understand that getting a real job it's obtainable. It's just not reality yet because
reasons.
Yeah, I can explain off camera kind of thing or off recording, but
Absolutely.
it's just. There are some things that I don't want to be announced.
No, we got it. Good.
So it's trying to also stay on that line with you, Johnny. Is kind of like the hard because you're like, I feel like some things like if I bring up, you're like, oh, I wish you wouldn't have, but like here's your answer kind of thing. I don't know if you'd be.
She's calling you a ticking time bomb.
I'm unpredictable, but I'm not unpredictable that bad.
Speaking of ticking time bombs,
yeah.
I'm tamed crazy, okay?
Tamed crazy.
Maybe I'm tamed crazy. You know the song that's out now?
Yeah. Alright guys, gonna be in the episode. Make sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Hey guys, welcome to the outro. Make sure to like this episode. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't subscribed already. And make sure to click that bell if you do subscribe. I also have a Patreon. Make sure to check that out. And that is it. Bye-bye.